Okay, this is a video that I'm going to do going over some of the sentences from lesson 27. So if you're on page 187 of your textbook, I'm going to do sentences 1 through 5. It's way more fun if I could do this in person, but here we are. So I'm going to have to just translate them for you. And I'm going to do sentences 1 through 5. And I'm going to go through them step by step for a couple of reasons. It's hard to teach yourself this on your own, so this is my chance of sort of showing you how what you learned in lesson 27 will come up in sentences and how you can translate that. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. I'll do sentences 1 through 5 sort of with you. So I think the best way to do this is to sort of pause the video as you're going through and either write out the sentences in your notebook and then sort of make notes as I go along and explain it. Alternatively, you can just translate the sentences beforehand and then come back and watch this video and see if you get anything out of it. But either way, I will do the first 5 sentences with and for you, and then you will have to translate sentences 6 through 10 for marks. Look on Blackboard for all the instructions for that. Should be fairly clear, straightforward at this point, what's expected of you for the alternative assessments. But here we go. Let's do this. This is lesson 27, and I'm very frustrated with my keyboard sometimes, so bear with me. Okay, that sucks too. I can't. Anyways, here, I'll just put it up here. Lesson 27 sentences. Now, I have a font here called GFS Porson. It's slightly different than the font in the textbook, but it's my favorite font. It's what Oxford Classical Texts uses. It's based off of a guy in the late Middle Ages, maybe early Enlightenment, by the last name of Porson, who had notebooks of Greek, and this is how his handwriting looked. It was so clean and precise that a lot of people liked what it looked like, and they made a typeset called GFS Porson to mimic his handwriting. Just a little bit of history. Anyways, I spent like a day trying to download the font for my Pages application, and I got it, and it's just fun to play with. Anyways, that's what I'm going to use. So I've taken all of the sentences out of your textbook, and I've put them in this file here, and I'm just going to go over them with you. Okay, so without further ado, let's do sentence 1 together. So, passai hai drachmai hai hupa tu retoras palai su lephthesai eklapesan temeron hupo to huyu to despatu. Okay, this one's actually kind of complicated. Let's see what we can do here. So the first thing is passai hai drachmai. This is a form of passai, which is feminine plural nominative for all or every. So all the drachmas here is the subject of our sentence. All the drachmas. Now, then we have a reduplication of the definite article hai here. So usually when you see that, you go, all the drachmas, the ones, translating hai. But we also have to ask, what does hai go with? What completes the hai? You don't have definite articles just floating on their own and that's it, right? They're completing something. Now you might think hai goes with palai, because look, you have the same ending, right? Alpha iota, alpha iota. That's not the case. Why is that not the case? Because you learned in lesson 27, if you watched the video I posted, this is an adverb, right? Because it's the root of palaios, which means ancient. It's an adverb that means long ago. So it doesn't, in other words, it doesn't complete hai. So if you think about it, what other word could complete it? Well, hupa, no, that's a preposition. Tu, retoros, those are two genitive singulars. Cannot go with a feminine plural nominative. But then we have sulephthesai, which does have the alpha iota ending as well. And this actually completes it. Now, sulephthesai is a participle, right? It's a theta ending, so it's aorist passive participle. Sulephthesai comes from sulambano, and this is aorist passive participle of sulambano, and this is that were seized, right? Yes, seized or snatched. So, and it's an aorist passive participle. So how do we translate it? So all the drachmas, which roughly being seized long ago, right? Here's our adverb long ago, modifying a participle here. Adverbs modify verbs or participles. So all the all the drachmas seized long ago by the speaker, right? So that's the first part of our clause. So this is basically one giant subject to our sentence. All the drachmas that were seized a long time ago by the speaker. That's sort of like a dependent clause. You can almost put a comma there. All those eklapesan, which is an aorist passive, but it's not a first aorist passive, it's a second aorist passive because it doesn't have that theta here, it doesn't have that thesan. But they were stolen, right, from klepto. Sorry, so sorry, I cannot speak today for some reason. Eklapesan, they were stolen, Tamaran, today, by Tahuyu, the son to Despatu of the master. So, all the drachmas, you could say something like, all the drachmas stolen long ago by the speaker, right? Which doesn't translate high here, but it just sort of treats it as obvious. So, all the drachmas, the ones stolen long ago by the speaker, were stolen today by the son of the master, or despot. So there you have it. That's pretty simple, other than this high here. Okay, moving on. Number 2. Anoixate tus ophthalmus o mathetai kai apokrinasta toi didaskaloi. Okay, so recall back to, if you're in your textbook, actually, I don't have it. I can't really do this on the screen easily. But look back to the new verb that we've learned, anoigo, and look at the third principal part, the second principal part, anoixo. So that's what you're looking at here, anoixate. So this is going to be an imperative, though, right? So open up your eyes, tus ophthalmus o mathetai. So, O students, open up your eyes. And apokrinaste, and this is a new verb as well. It comes from krino, but not just krino, apokrino, and it's in the middle, and so it's going to mean and answer toi didaskaloi, your teacher, right? So this one is extremely straightforward. So this is open up your eyes, O students, and answer your teacher. Okay, nothing special about that one. Just some new vocab here that you have to get used to. So anoixate and apokrinasta. Okay. That's one I already translated for you. I'll just delete that for a second. Okay, here's a hard one. It's only hard because it's a weird construction. So let's just read it through. So we have umanon tois neois alakai tois palaios ede esti palus fabos peri tutu to palemu. So very literally, well, before I do that, it's worth pointing out when you have an umanon, look for an alakai. Guess what? You have an alakai here, right? Umanon, alakai means not only. Umanon, not only. Alakai, but also. So we know it's like a not only, but also sort of construction, right? If you can see that, it's nice to just sort of get that. Now we have not only tois neois, to the young ones. Now, neos is an adjective, so it's a substantive here, right? It's not modifying any nouns, it's just standing on its own, so it's a substantive. So, neos means young or new. As a substantive, it can mean to the young ones. So, I'll just do this here. To the young ones. I'm going to bracket it. And then alakai tois palaios, which is the opposite, but also to the old ones. So it's to the young and to the old, if that makes sense. We might change that in a second. Ade, already. Este, well, it means is, but where's our nominative? Well, Paulus phobos is our nominative, right? Much fear is already not only to the young, but also to the old. Now, that's weird, right? And it should sound weird because it's a dative of possession. When you have a dative of possession, what do? Number one, datives become nominatives, right? Second thing you do, st becomes have, or some form of that. And then the third thing is that your nominative becomes your direct object. So how we do that? Well, let's change our datives to our to nominatives. So not only the young, but also the old, already, and then st becomes have, and then the nominative. The nominative here, Paulus phobos, is going to become the direct object. So not only the young, but also the old already have much fear. Right? That's how you do dative of possessions. And then the last four words are fairly straightforward. Peri tutu to polemu, concerning this war, or about this or that war, depending on the context, right? Keep in mind, hada is our demonstrative that always means this, something nearby. Ekenos is our demonstrative that means that. It means something far away from the speaker. Tutu, something that kind of exists in the middle, right? So it could be this or that, depending on the context. I would like to translate it as this war, because otherwise, why are they scared of it if it's that war over there? Right, it's something that's something well known at this point. So I would translate it this war, something that they're at least talking about. It doesn't need to be nearby in proximity, but at least well known. And then you can choose if you want concerning or about for Peri. Probably about is how we speak in modern day English. So there you go. Not only the young, but also the old already have much fear about this war. Dative of possession. It's a good recap. There you have it. Nothing really new in this sentence other than the adjectives neois and palaios. And here, keep in mind, here you're actually seeing it as an adjective, right? In sentence 1, I believe it was. Yeah, here you had it as an adverb. No ending, right? It's just the root of the adjective, and that's used as an adverb. Here you have palaios with an ending. It's an adjective. It's a substantive adjective. It's the old people, the old ones. Probably not best to translate this as the ancient ones, since it's referring to people. Okay, I'm going to delete what I wrote here. Okay, this one's fun. Here we have some nice aorist passives. Epe he magale thura aneoikthe hatuflas xenos ophthe kai ekamisthe eistain oikion hupa to therapainon. Okay, fairly straightforward, but there's a bunch of aorist passives here, right? How do we know? The, right? Boom, the, and boom, the. Bunch of aorist passives. Okay, epe, just when. here we have a nice nominative sort of subject here, so let's just translate it. When the large door, he megalethura, Aneokthe, was opened, or was opened up. Sorry. When the large door was opened up, or just opened, that's probably better. Hatuflas Xenos, the blind stranger. Right? Now keep in mind, you have subject, verb, subject, verb. You have different subject here, the large door, and then you have a new subject, the blind stranger. Right? So even though you have theta eta ending, theta eta, which is your third person singular aorist passive ending, different subjects, so just keep that in mind. So oftentimes if you see the same ending running throughout, it's the same subject, but here you have two different subjects. One's feminine, one's masculine. So when the large door was opened, Hatuflas Xenos, the blind stranger, Ophthe. Now that doesn't look like anything you know, but I did point out to you in the last video that it comes from horao, which means to see, but it's aorist passive, so it's to be seen. Third person singular, was seen. So the blind stranger was seen. And we got the kai there. Ekomisthe, so komio here is the verb, which means to carry or escort or to acquire in the middle. He was carried, so he was seen and carried. And then the rest of it's fairly straightforward. You have preposition, accusative, astenoi into the house, hupo ton therapainon, by the maids. Fairly straightforward, but a bunch of aorist passives, so they're fun. They're very easy to translate if you can spot them, right? Just keep in mind they're passive, they're not active. So the stranger wasn't seeing anything; he was being seen, right? The blind stranger was seen, namely by someone, maybe the maids. But at any rate, someone opened a large door, and there was a blind stranger out there that was seen and then carried into the house by the maids. Okay, again. Fairly straightforward. Bunch of aorist passives, 3 in a row. Lots of fun. Okay. You know what? I'll just get rid of this for a second so I can have a nice clean screen. Okay, so sentence 5, clipping along here. Trapentes ace ekenein tain trierein. Enekthemen dia tes kalesthalates. This one's a bit tricky for a couple of reasons. First reason, trapentes comes from, I have it down here, trepo. Right? Notice the stem change. Trap from trep. It's an aorist second. It's a second aorist passive participle. First person plural. And so it's something like, just translating it, well, because it's aorist, I like to just say after moving, right? Because it's from trepo, and this is one of those weird passive voices that gets translated as a middle. I mentioned that in the last video. Very seldom, just with this word trepo mostly. So after moving into that trireme, right? Not this trireme, but that trireme. So after moving into that trireme, and nekthemen, and boy, you might be frustrated when you see that one. You know it's a theta ending, and a themen, so you know it's aorist passive. You know, because you know the men ending gives it away. It's a second person plural. Sorry, first person plural. So we. So after moving into that trireme, we, whatever this verb is, and I'll just give it to you. It's from Pharaoh, right? Pharaoh's the annoying one. Everybody should hate Pharaoh. It's from Pharaoh. So we were carried, or born. Carried or born. Sorry. Born. Nope. Apparently I don't know how to spell it. For some reason I thought there was an E on it. Nope. There, that's what it should be. Yeah. We were carried or born. Just stick with carried. That's what we say in English these days. We were carried. Dia tes kalathalates. This one's hard to translate. Dia plus a genitive means through. So dia plus genitive equals through. So you should translate it as we were carried through the fine sea. I'm tempted to translate it as across, right? That's the idea. You're not. It's not a submarine. You're not being carried through the ocean here, the sea. You're kind of being carried across. So that's how I would sort of play with the translation there. But most literal is through here. So there you have it. Those are your first 5 sentences. The next 5 sentences you have to do on your own and submit them for marks. Any questions, please email me, and I'll answer them. And I'll answer them in a way that every student, if I feel like it's worth it, I'll answer